Rumors are starting to swirl about upcoming potential changes to the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. What are these changes? What are the details? What are the rumors? What are the new credits? What are the new benefits? Let's jump in and talk about all the details right now. All right, so let's start off by quickly going over some of the current benefits of the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. This card has a $550 annual fee that is offset by a yearly $300 travel credit. Travel credit is pretty easy to use compared to some other credit cards in the space, so that is a positive there. The main selling point and one of the top benefits of this card is that it has a 1.5x boost for your Chase Ultimate Reward points when you use them to book travel through the Chase Travel Portal. So that's a very solid way to redeem your points if you're just an average person who wants to get good value for the points. You won't just start dipping your toes into the game of points and miles, and you don't want to spend all the time and energy that it takes to transfer your points to transfer partners, airline, or hotel partners, and just the time and effort that it takes to have such an excellent stellar redemption and get those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cents per point that a lot of the YouTubers and myself included have talked about in previous videos. It takes a lot of effort to do that. So this 1.5x boost on your points through the Chase Travel Portal is a very solid, respectable way to spend your points. You can save yourself the time and the headache and still get solid value for your points. So that's the main selling point and the superpower of this card and what makes it so popular among a lot of people. This card gets 3x on general travel purchases. That is hotels, airlines, transit, tolls, parking garages, Ubers, taxis, very, very broad travel category. So that is a great perk for this card. And then it gets 3x on dining. It gives you unlimited access to the Chase Sapphire lounges that are starting to pop up at more and more airports around the country. So it gives you also global entry and TSA PreCheck every 4 or 5 years. So pretty standard there for premium travel cards. So there are some other benefits like different DoorDash memberships and that I'm not going to get into every single small detail there. So that's just the main top line benefits of this card currently. So let's jump in and talk about where this rumor started and why people are giving it some validity and it's actually starting to get some traction. So where it started is on Reddit. So where all great things in the world start, they start on Reddit. So what I've got on the screen here is a screen grab that was taken from one of the original posts that started this whole rumor train to begin with. So as you can see here, if anybody who's had any type of corporate America job knows the screen very well that's on the screen here. This is a standard training. Click on it, 0.5 hours. You take a corporate training to tell you the benefits of a new product or a new policy that's implemented throughout the company. And it looks like to be here an example of that where Chase employees are receiving this very standard corporate training to tell them about the benefits of the new and upcoming Chase Sapphire Reserve. So that was the initial post. Along with that on Reddit came some details, and I'm not going to find the original commenter and say their name. They actually deleted their account quickly after making these posts. So that is another reason why people are kind of running with this. It sounds, and I'll just take a second to explain. So it sounds like this is kind of just like crazy conjecture and insane speculation. And why would I even be? People are making videos and actually giving validity to these types of comments when this could be a completely doctored picture and this could be a complete wild goose chase. So these types of rumors and things through Reddit have typically that have gained traction in the past throughout the community. A lot of it actually has come to fruition, more so than you would think. So, just based on the user, the post, how quickly they deleted their account, some of the details, the fact that this card needs a refresh in the first place. I think all of those things put together, and just having been in this game for a little while and seen multiple iterations of this, is this going to be a guarantee that happens? No. Is it a 50-50 chance, in my opinion, that a lot of these details come true and there actually is a refresh coming fairly soon for this card? Yes, in my opinion. So just wanted to start the discussion by saying that. So let's really take a look here at some of the projected or rumored changes and just kind of go through them here. So first off the bat, annual fee raising from $550 to $795. That is quite a hefty change there. As everybody expects, these annual fees are not going to go down. They're always going to go up, but that is a sizable annual fee that is over the current annual fee of the American Express Platinum Card. That's at $695, so that would be the king of all premium travel credit cards in terms of an annual fee. Authorized user is increasing from $75 up to $195 for the annual fee. That detail will be important to some people as they want to get their families into the Chase Sapphire lounges. Next up is 8X on Chase Travel for hotels and cars. And the current benefit is 10X, so that's a losing 2X there, 4X direct flights in hotels. So currently you get, like I mentioned earlier, you get 3X on all travel purchases. It's very, very broad, and that's actually an excellent thing. I myself use it for tolls, parking, everything in between. Living in a big city, there's a lot of those types of fees on a monthly basis. I love getting 3X on that general travel. This would remove that and bring other travel down to 1X, but it does have an increase on direct flights and hotels to 4X, which is actually quite attractive. In certain instances, so like, if you are going to pay for a hotel that is not a part of a chain and you don't have a Hilton Aspire card and Diamond status, and you're not going to get 34X on a particular hotel, or you don't have a Marriott card and you're going to get whatever elevated, 20 something X on that, or 9X with your World of Hyatt card. If you're just staying at a hotel that is not a part of a chain like that, or something along those lines, getting 4X on those hotels would be a great thing. 4X on direct flights. So I currently purchase direct flights and flights directly with airlines with my American Express Platinum Card. That gets 5X membership reward points on those types of purchases. So 4X would not change that for me. I would still use my American Express Platinum Card, but I could see where some people want the superior insurance protections on the Chase Sapphire Reserve and sacrifice that 1X in order to activate those types of insurances. That is a very reasonable and valid thing to do, to sacrifice that and have superior insurance. So those are my thoughts on the 4X. 3X dining, that doesn't change. So the Chase dining and Chase multipliers in general, I really think they are, and a lot of people do, this isn't like a secret, that they are really, really lagging two major areas, which are groceries and gas. For example, the City Strata Premier has both of those categories covered at 3X. Capital One has the Saver card with no annual fee that has 3X on groceries. And you can use the custom cash to get 5X on gas. They're just, this is really, really lacking. I do know the Chase Sapphire Preferred has that 3X on online groceries that can be gamed in a certain way, but that's not a true grocery category. So really, it would be disappointed if these changes hold to not see, to be losing that 3X on general travel, to not at least get, a 3X on, gas. I just don't know how realistic groceries is too. I don't want to hope for too much from this, but it's just, I'm just saying this is my general thoughts, that it is disappointing to not have that across Chase. So still not getting it here, and losing some multipliers there. So next up is a $500 edit credit. So the edit collection is similar to Fine Hotels and Resorts by Amex. It gets you, if you book these hotels through the Chase Travel Portal, in the edit collection, it gets you daily breakfast for $200 property. A credit includes dining, spa, other activities, room upgrade at check-in if available, early check-in, late checkout if available. So very similar to the Fine Hotels and Resorts program there. This is one thing I would be excited about. This is if you were able to stack these semi-annual $250 credits for $500 total. So like, for example, I'm assuming it goes January through June, then July through December. What could really get me excited about this credit is if you were able to take the credit from January and June and, let's say, book a night in November, and then on July 1st, once that second annual semi-annual credit takes into effect, you'd be able to book that second consecutive night in November to pair it with that original night, and to have $500 of stays consecutively. That would be something that I would be more excited about. However, I have a feeling that they would want you to complete the travel by June 30th, so you wouldn't be able to stack. That would just be my personal speculation there. So, interested to see how that comes to fruition. I do like the finding hotels and resorts credit through American Express. I like that late checkout and upgrades available, and getting those credits, and kind of making that stay nice. Use that for staycations, and just so we're using that later this year to go to a hotel in New Orleans. So excited about that. So interested to hear more about that credit. $300 dining credit via the Reserve Tables program. I think that's a typo there. $250 semi-annual. It should be $150 if it's a $300 dining credit. I don't know what the Reserve Tables program is. I would assume it's something similar to Resi, like American Express has. If it's as easy to use as the Resi credit, that's something I would be excited about. I think a lot of these credits, starting here and kind of moving down, are catered more towards people who live in larger cities like myself. I live in Chicago, so for example, the Resi dining program, there are many restaurants that I already frequented organically, and I'm assuming the Reserve Tables program would be similar for Chase. So that would be something that would work well with my lifestyle. However, people in small town America, they might have one dot in that entire map, and it might not work out so well for them. So that there could be a potential for a lot of breakage with that credit. Interested to see how they roll it out. StubHub credit, $300, broken up into $150 semi-annually. I mean, I go to maybe one StubHub type event every 2 years or so, so I would not get full value at this particular credit. But hey, credit's a credit. DoorDash credit, I've got so many freaking Eats credits falling out my butt here. I've got Uber Eats credits, $50 a month through my various cards, and things to keep track of, and buy Five Guys gift cards for my Amex Gold dining credit. Like, the last thing I want is another DoorDash delivery BS credit to worry about. So that is not attractive to me. Of course, if I had the card, I would make use of it. $120 DoorDash membership for me personally. I've got 6 to 9 months or something like that on the recent promo that ran with the Chase Ink Cash and Chase Ink Unlimited. Stack that on top of a previous promo that ran, whatever. The DoorDash membership means nothing to me right now. Long term, it might mean something once those stacks run out. $250 towards Apple TV and Apple Music. I mean, I just completed a year of Apple TV. I got it to watch Severance, and some other shows that I enjoyed, and I bought the yearly package. It just ran out for $99. It ran out like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and I haven't renewed it since. This is one of those things that I just renew when there's a show that I want to see. So I would definitely not get the full $250 out of that particular credit, but I wouldn't value it at zero. $120 Lyft credit via 5%, $10 a month maximum. I think that it currently exists, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't ride Uber or Lyft. I just use my Uber credits for Eats, and maybe I'll use it on vacation or in an airport a few times a year, but that credit would not mean much to me. $120 Peloton credit, $10 a month. That's, somebody, I mentioned in a different video that you could use that for some kind of digital subscription. That means, I'm not interested in that. I don't need like an app that teaches me how to work out. More power to you if you do, and that works for you. And then getting down here to the bottom of the list, received after $75,000 in spending. So this is kind of ridiculous in here to me. If you're spending $75K per year in getting these first two credits, so like $500 Southwest credit, sure, $500 is $500, but that's kind of a very small amount when considering kind of the milestone you're getting to and spending $75K on this card throughout the year. What really annoys me about this particular set of credits down here is the Southwest A-list status. A-list status is not even the highest status that Southwest offers. A-list preferred is, so the fact that you would spend $75,000 and just get like a secondary status is kind of laughable to me. If you're going to spend that much and funnel that throughout this card and make this card your kind of main driver, I would expect to get at least A-list preferred. So that's kind of just a goofy thing if that actually comes to fruition, and this is a true benefit there. And then IHG One Rewards Diamond Elite status. Sure, that's nice. And then getting down to the $250, the shops credit. I have no idea what the shops is. I Googled it, before recording this video, and I don't think it's live yet, don't know what it is. I bet it's some hoity-toity, shopping thing where it's a really hard to use credit and you get terrible value. So, hate to be a pessimistic on that particular one, but if they're just, not something I'm super excited about, but maybe I'll feel differently once I hear more of that about that particular credit. Something that is curiously missing from this list is any mention of the 1.5x boost to the Chase travel portal that we mentioned at the beginning of the video, that was one of the main selling points of this card. If that gets nerfed down to a just that's removed, that would be a huge blow to this card in my opinion. So I don't want to speculate what that hasn't been. None of this, to be clear, has been confirmed, but the absence of that on this list does not mean that it's being removed, but just wanted to call out that if that is in fact removed or reduced to 1.25 to match the Sapphire Preferred and the Ink Preferred, that would be a really bad thing to happen to this card. Overall thoughts on this, yes, the 4x on direct flights and hotels could be nice in certain situations. I really don't like the reduction to 1x on other travel. I personally would rather have the 3x on general travel and remove that 4x on flights and hotels. Personally, well, for me, obviously, I get 5x on the Amex Platinum card, and then hotels, I would sacrifice that 3x on hotels to get 3x on general travel. I think that's a big selling point for this card. People like to put Airbnbs on it. They like to put cruises on it. They like to put other travel related purchases to get that 3x. And to kind of engage those travel protections that we talked about earlier that are really excellent, and pair that with the 3x. That's a really, really powerful thing for this card. So that missing here is a big blow in my opinion. The reduction on the Chase Travel and like the portal to from 10x to 8x, not a huge call out for me here nor there. I don't really book through portals a ton, so that wouldn't affect me personally. The edit credit dining, some of the StubHub, DoorDash stuff, Apple TV, Lyft. I mean, the couponization and just having to keep track of this stuff in order to scratch and claw back some value is frustrating. I get why they're doing it. It makes sense. The more credits there are, the more opportunity there is for breakage and for people to not utilize those credits. So I get it. It's a smart business model, something that has served American Express very well for a very long time. So I understand why they're doing it. Me personally, I don't want to crap on this too much because if I have credits, I sure as heck will find a way to use them, and it's much easier for myself in a bigger city to be able to utilize some of these things, particularly the food related ones and some of the different travel ones that the like the edit credit that fit my travel style already. But I just feel like this card would no longer make sense for a lot of people who live in middle America, small town, medium sized town that has no access to these Sapphire Reserve tables or has no access to the shops, whatever that is, and these types of things. I just feel like it is an overall downgrade in my opinion. I'm really the key factor for me will be if that 1.5x stays or not. That's if it stays, then I could see this card making sense for some people, but just the more coupons, the worse in general is kind of my philosophy there. So that's it for today's video. If you liked it, if you got some value from this and you enjoyed this discussion, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. That would really help me out. Would very much appreciate that. If you want to apply for this card and other cards, I'll leave my referral links down in the description. This is one of the last days of the elevated 100K welcome offer for the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. So there is a Chase Sapphire Preferred in my household. I will leave the referral link to that in the description. You can apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve through that link as well if you are interested in that. So that would be a great way to support the channel, and I would really appreciate that. So with that, thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one.